Hey everybody, John Murphy, CSSI. I hope you're doing great today. I want to talk to you just for a couple of minutes about building improvements, tenant improvements, capital improvements. One of the things that I just see is most of these do not get studied. Here's the thing: the way the way the tax code works today is that if you do an improvement, an interior improvement specifically is what I'm talking about. If you're doing an improvement that goes both interior and exterior, you absolutely should be studying that improvement. But if it's just a tenant improvement, what many CPAs will just do is they'll just take the number. Hey, building owner, what did you? Okay, you did $225,000 in improvements. We're just going to mark that down as qualified improvement property. That's 15-year class life property, and you certainly can do that. That's within the code. It's 15 years. It's qualified improvement property as long as it's not an elevator or an escalator. When you study the building, right, it might turn out that there might be some 39-year property, and that would be the proper way to do is actually have a study like that done, okay? But usually it's just thrown on the books at 60% bonus depreciation. Well, you're missing out on a lot of 5-year property because a lot of these interior improvements do include 5-year property. I mean, it might be kind of a minimalist improvement, and maybe you'll see, 20% will get allocated to the 5-year class life property. And you have to think about this differently than the way it is studied in a regular building, okay? So the numbers I'm going to talk to you about here are on improvements. And so when you hear the 5-year numbers, they're significantly bigger on an improvement than they would be on a regular building. If you go to buy an office warehouse building or go buy a retail building or buy a multi-family building, the 5-year property is just going to be so much, right? It might be 6%, it might be 12, it might be 18, it might be 20, okay? But not much more than that, all right? When you're doing an improvement on the low end, you're going to see 5-year class life property typically around 15 to 20%. But oftentimes we'll see 30, 35, 40, 45%, maybe 50% on these improvements. And that's 5-year class life property. And you've now thrown that on your books at 60% because of the way that the tax law is today in 2024, okay? I just think it's crazy. You want to try to maximize everything you possibly can with your building and squeeze everything out of your building. You should be studying these improvements. So let me just show you here for a second. $375,000 improvement, pretty common. A lot of these things go on. And one of the things too, you have to talk and consult to somebody, someone like us, right? See, does it make sense to study these? Most of these do, okay? But let's have us take a look at it. I'm just telling you, probably 98, 99% of these are not studied, okay? So you're missing an opportunity. 32% tax rate, we'll just say that's what it is. 2024, it's 60% bonus depreciation. And let's say that the 5-year class life property is 35%. We can't know that exactly leading up into the study. We make an estimate based on it, but actually the results are going to be the results. They might come in at 32%. They might come in at 48%. They might come in at 20%. But we should have a decent idea anyway. We're not going to tell you it's going to be 40% if it really is going to end up being 15%. We're not going to overinflate that just to get a study. But let's say it costs you $3,500, just estimating here to get that study done. Every project needs to have its own custom estimate. I'm just doing this to run some numbers for you. So if we study this $375,000 improvement, okay, year one, it's actually going to cost you money as a building owner because your CPA would have just marked that all down as 60% bonus depreciation, qualified improvement property, 15-year, taken the full $375,000 tax deduction. And what I'm proposing is that you pay us the $3,500 to study that. So in year one, it's actually costing you a net negative of $2,380 because you had to pay us to do the study. But starting right away in year two, you're going to get an increased amount of depreciation that you can take because the 5-year class life is now unlocked, right? So now you got year three, now you're up to $3,600. These are net tax savings to you as the building owner after paying for the study, okay? So this isn't, hey, $3,600, yeah, you owed us $3,500, so you're barely ahead. No, you're $3,600 ahead in year three. Year four, it's $6,600. Year five, it's $9,600. So it's $10,000 roughly, okay, if this is the way that the study turns out. Now, the other thing that I will just show you here is that, sometimes we don't really know until we study this. Did the study come out at 25% or is it coming out at 50%? If it comes out at 25% and you paid us $3,500, okay, you're still saving roughly about $6,000 on your income taxes cumulatively over those next 5 years. If it turns out it's 50% ends up getting identified as 5-year class life property, you're going to save $15,000 on your income taxes cumulatively. So that's what you're letting sit. Okay, if you don't study it and you just say, yeah, let's just take it as 60% bonus depreciation, qualified improvement property, 15-year, okay, fine. You're just leaving $15,000 in your building that you could be taking over the next 5 years in terms of tax savings. I don't know what else you could do with that. Maybe you want to do some additional improvements. Maybe you want to take a vacation. Maybe you want to use that to hire some part-time worker. I don't know. That's your money. Why are you leaving it in your building? Oh, just because it's easier, we'll just write it down as 60% qualified improvement property on the depreciation schedule. It's not worth studying. Yeah, okay, we get it. We hear that all the time from CPAs, okay? I'm telling you that's not the right strategy, okay? That what you should look at doing is studying these properties. And I don't care what the improvement is. If it's around $200,000 or so, you should evaluate if it should be studied or not, okay? Bigger the improvement, the better the results you're going to be. My name is John Murphy. I work for CSSI. This is my custom calculator that I put together because I saw this as a problem. I saw this as an opportunity for building owners and CPA and tax firms to be able to help their clients further instead of just taking the easy route out of marking 60% bonus depreciation qualified improvement property on their improvements, okay? You can do better than that. I work all over the country. I've got a blog called costsegbuilding.com. Publish lots of information there. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm on the socials at Costseg Building as well. Would love to chat with you about your project. I work in all 50 states. I can work in all 50 states. The way we have our network set up at CSSI, I can get a photographer to any building. I don't have to fly out there to do that, okay? So it's not going to cost you more money to do business with me because I'm on the East Coast and you've got a building in California. Happy to work with you. All kinds of commercial property, residential investment property as well. But this particularly pertains to commercial investment improvements, capital improvements, tenant improvements for 2024. Get your studies done. Let's go. See ya.